Hello, everyone. I'm Laurie Reyon, and I'm the director of the Omnidimensional Mystery School in Oceanside, California. We're so happy to present the whales of the world over the next 4 weeks. Very exciting topic for me as my specialty is to communicate with dolphins and whales. And over the last few years, we've even formed a healing school around the information that the whales have given us to help so many people with emotional and physical resistance or imbalances or disease of any kind. It's just been a miracle zone, if you will, to work with them in that way. And so today is the first time I've offered a class like this where we're actually going to talk to 4 different species of whales over the next month and listen to what they have to say and do their meditations and talk about the different purposes that the different species of whales have. I've primarily been connected to humpback whales because they are the healers for humanity. And that's been made clear to me for almost 19 years now. And more intensely as, of course, as I embraced it in the last 4 or 5 years, where it's a big part of my day. I do one-on-one sessions with people called whale healing and clearing. And then the white whales, which we'll talk about today, appeared on the planet in 2012. And they have given us 12 different templates to create the light body. So they're here to assist us in this time of great change. I mean, they've always been here on the planet in the form of humpback whales, but the white whales have only been here for a few years, and they're sharing their expertise. And they're not from Earth; they're from a different, even universe, so to speak. They're cosmic beings. So you're in for a lot of fun and some deep wisdom and some healing. So just embrace that and go into your heart. And the first thing that I'd like to do is say that this is week 1 for the recording of week 4. And today is September 16th, 2021. Okay, and again, I'm Laurie Reyon. So welcome, everyone. I should say welcome. So we do everything in sacred space. And today, when we call in the directions, we're going to use the whales to hold the columns of light. Or quite often, if you do my classes and so forth, you know we use archangels. Today, we're going to use whales. So we open now to the flowing love of source energy. We open to Christ consciousness. And we open to the influx of the wisdom of the earth and the wisdom of the sun being the portal or gateway for source energy to come to our planet. So there we go. And so I want you to ground yourself into the earth and connect to Gaia and just really anchor yourself down in the earth and give her a big hug, tell her how much you love her, and acknowledge the elemental beings, earth, air, fire, and water. And also connect to the crystal kingdom. And as you feel this energy of great compassion, great love from Gaia, allow it to come up from the bottom of your feet, up your legs, up into your solar plexus, and up into your heart space. And allow that energy to form a ball in your heart as it continues to build, raising your vibration and keeping you very connected to Mother Earth. And now rising up from the heart, coming up through the crown chakra, send your light up to the sun and connect to Father God, to Prime Creator, to the angelics, ascended masters, spirit guides. So many of your team are in spirit form. Allow them to come in now, cascading source energy really over your crown chakra into your body, changing the vibrancy of your cells. And bring that light again into the heart, forming a ball of light next to that ball of Mother Earth. And as we do this, our intention is to create a unity balance, lifting the vibration of our body into the energy of what is often known as 0 point. Neutrality to anything that is negative or in the realm of duality, but yet completely embracing the higher vibration and a 5th dimensional existence, moving us closer to who we truly are. Now, I want you to visualize your home and your property, whatever that is, whether it's a home or a condo or apartment, and turn your attention to the southern perimeter of your personal space. And we're going to call in the great humpback whales. One in particular will come that's an elder and will form a column of light that's down into the earth and above your home. And the south is open. Now turning your energy to the west. And we're embracing now the great blue whales. Again, an ambassador will step in, creating a beautiful column of light. And the west is now open. Turning our attention to the north, we embrace the energy now of the gray whales. Beautiful creatures that teach us deep levels of forgiveness and atonement. The north is now open. Aho. And turning the energy now to the east, we summon the presence of the great orca whales. We're also the largest dolphin. And again, an ambassador steps in and holds the column of light. So we thank all 4 species of dolphins and whales, and we ask now for those 4 columns of light to form a pyramid around you and your home, with an apex above your house. And now in your mind's eye, create a copy of that that's upside down and inverted down into the earth. So the pyramids are bottom to bottom. And what we're doing is forming the sacred architecture of the octahedron. So visualize that and see it beginning to fill with prana. And now drop down into the earth to the apex of center below, down into the earth. And let's call in now the minke whales. Beautiful. We'll rise up now to the apex of center above, and we're going to call in the fin whales. And now let's sink into the heart again, feeling the sacred energy rise. I'd like you to call in your 3 master guides, and I'd like you to call in 3 spirit dolphins to be with you in your heart space. And now I'm going to call in the council of the 13 white whales, the cosmic creator gods, and I'm calling in my partner, Master Cat Buddha, and our beautiful Endar crystals. And our sacred space is open. Namaste, everyone. Welcome. So I'm going to start out. See, someone's waiting to come in. It's a thing I had my eyes closed. Okay, and it's called the message from the dolphins and whales, and a visual can help bring you even higher when you look at them and you see them swimming in the ocean and connecting to them. So I'm going to share the screen, and I hope you enjoy it. To get us on the pathway. Here we go.
This is a message from the whales and dolphins for humanity. The dolphins are emissaries of light and work closely with the Pleiadian beings to assist everyone in becoming a conscious creator. The dolphins can assist you in going deep within yourself to find the truth that lives within your heart. The dolphins ask us to connect with the divinity within ourselves and truly connect with our souls. They remind us that the soul is the consciousness that we incarnated from and that which we will ultimately return to. Our physical bodies are just an expression of that part of us that embodies a higher power and consciousness. Our souls want nothing more of us in the physical than for us to be happy and live a joyful and magical life. It is only through creating joyful feelings that we can achieve a higher vibration and can truly connect to and communicate with our higher selves. So the dolphin's message is quite simply to become aware of how easy it is to monitor our thought forms, and just choose to change them if we find our thoughts anything other than joyful. Simple, but profound. Remember, to think is to create, and we are the creators and co-creators of the world in which we live. The universe is one living, breathing, conscious being, demonstrating interconnectedness and oneness. The incarnated whales are an example of the all-loving, all-knowing consciousness that came to planet Earth to be a steward for Gaia and for humanity. As a species, the whales and dolphins are the most spiritually and intellectually evolved souls in our world, and they anchor the light beamed to Earth from distant sources. Using their living light fields, known as the Merkaba, they align with the frequency and resonance of Gaia, or Mother Earth. The whales have held the highest incarnated vibration on the planet for eons, and also hold the resonance or frequency that is the heartbeat for Gaia. We would not have survived these many years if the whales had not chosen to use their vibration to balance and steady our beautiful planet. The end of polarity or duality is nearing. The responsibilities the whales have held for humanity is now being shared with many humans as we awaken to our true selves and choose to take our power as children of Creator Source. We are reclaiming the true dreaming state of the living heart. This is true creatorship. What this means is that through exercising intentional evolution, we are entering into a time when thoughts will manifest very quickly into our dimensional realities. Because many of us have chosen to awaken to the truth of our soul's journey and become conscious creators, we are now able to connect with the super-sentient, ancient cetaceans we call the whales. The whales are the ancients, the elders, and are the greatest healers we will know throughout our many journeys and lifetimes upon this planet we call Earth. The whales ask you to call upon them often to realign your auric fields and your organ systems. They remind you of the phrase, "Ask, and you will receive." It is their honor to assist us, and they come in joy and in a state of bliss that can best be described as living in oneness with all that is. The dolphins and whales intend that you will find great love and joy in your heart each day and find a way to share it with another.
So I hope you enjoyed that. It's just a nice message from both the dolphins and the whales. It kind of sets the tone for what we're here to do today. So I just want to start out by saying a little bit about my history. It's probably not a long enough class for me to tell you the full story, but I think like a lot of you, I connected with dolphins early on. I grew up in Nebraska, so I didn't able to see them physically until I came to California. And then I wanted to see them, so I went out on boats, but had severe seasickness in those years, my 20s and 30s. And I just couldn't do it. I ended up, just not being on a boat because I got so sick. And I had that also with plane rides in the backseat of a car. It's just severe motion sickness. So I was able to address that later during the time I had my first healing center. Grandma Chandra, some of you may know of her, was the first one to call me out on it. she was doing a presentation at our healing center, and she said to me, when are you going to do your real mission? I said, I am doing my real mission. At that time I was doing group events to connect with whales and Pleiadians, and, healing with the cats. And I thought I was doing great. She said, your real mission is to get out on those boats and give the messages of the dolphins and whales to the people, and then translate them and get them out to the world. That's what they want you to do. And I'm like, well, there's just one problem. I get seasick. And she said, well, you better fix it. You better heal it. She said, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to come back in a month, and you spend that month healing yourself. Okay. Ask for help with the whales. Ask your higher self, figure it out, and we'll go out on a boat together. And if you end up throwing up, I'll do the messages. I want you to fix it. So I did. I worked on it, and I don't know, it hadn't really occurred to me, I guess, that I could heal it. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. We think maybe we can help others, but not always ourselves. So that was one of my stories that allowed me to do the first boat trip. And I was sweating. I was so nervous. I was so scared. But turns out that healing things like allergies and healing motion sicknesses is totally and completely in the realm of working with whales. So now I know that, and I can help other people. So maybe that's why I had it, so I could go through it, pardon me, and I can help others. So happy to say that I can go on boats now. And when the pandemic's not going on, I lead retreats for the last 10 years to Hawaii and Bimini, and into Moorea down near Tahiti. So there's lots of opportunities to go out and experience them, where we'll do like 5 boat trips in a week. It's just so much fun. So looking forward to that coming back. We're planning actually to be in Bimini, which is in the Caribbean, next year in June. So we hope all of this passes with the vaccines and so forth. So just a little note on that. Also know that in 1994, I had a car accident, and I don't really like the word accident because we're the creators of our own reality, right? So for whatever reason, I set that up. And in recovery from that, I was down in Mexico, in Baja, which it was my favorite vacation space because I live in San Diego, and just across the border and go down to Mexico. We used to do it at Christmas. And I mean, I've done that since I would think I was 21, just go down there, have a blast, go to the beach, see the dolphins from the beach and all of that. I love that. But after going down in, I think 1995, I would spend time out on the beach and I would see the dolphins, and I just enjoyed it so much. But I hadn't yet connected with whales, mostly because they don't come on the shore, right? They're too big. So I would just play with the dolphins, and I started to feel a really deep connection to them because I was set out there every day, because I was in recovery for, I don't know, like 3 months, maybe longer, on this little deck where my feet were kind of hanging over the ocean. And 3 dolphins would come to my house every day, and they would chatter, all the noises they made. And they would talk. I guess they were talking to me too, but I didn't understand yet. They were talking to my cat, Cootie, at the time. And he would look at me and he said, you're supposed to talk to them. I'm supposed to help you. You have a lot of work to do with the dolphins and the whales. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't understand it all at first, but over time I let it in, that old saying, are you letting it in? Are you letting it in? Are you letting it in? It comes from Abraham. And so I eventually did. And I realized that it's not difficult, if you're working on your telepathy, to talk to dolphins. They make it really easy. It's actually even easier than talking to dogs and cats. They're actually our cousins in the future. So their chakra systems and their organ systems are very much like us. So we're very dolphin-like in our bodies. And they started to tell me about my friends and give me messages. And so I would tell my friends or other people too that this is what the dolphins are saying about you. And people loved it. I mean, they just loved it because it's so spot on, it's just so incredible. So I started doing that mostly for fun. And then later on for work, I would add the opportunity to receive a dolphin message on my boat trips. And it's just been incredible. It really has. But when I was living in Baja, I started having, a deeper spiritual awakening. And I went to a shaman circle, and I started regularly going, and I made friends with the shaman and go to ceremonies. I just adored it, learning about the shamanic ways. And one time there was a fire ceremony, and he called me into the center of the circle when we started. And he said, because of you, I was able to journey in the ceremony further out into the cosmos, into the galaxy than I'd ever gone before. And I saw you on a planet where you were working with whales. And so I'm going to call you Standing Whale Mother. And I turned around and I was embarrassed because you called me out. And I didn't know anything about whales. Like I told you, I didn't know. I just didn't know what to do. I went and sat down. But now I realize that Antonio, he planted a seed for me, and he showed me a little bit of my future if I chose it, was to connect with the whales. And so then I had that in my consciousness. So that year, I was sitting out on a rock jetty that was being built by my house, which was they were building a little harbor in La Salina. Some of you may know, gone down to Baja. That harbor's complete now. And I would sit out on the end of the rocks and meditate and, just enjoy the sun. And one day this whale came by, except I didn't know it was a whale. And it surfaced right in front of me, like right where my feet were hanging down. And at first I was scared. I thought it was like a submarine or something. I don't know what I thought. And then it just stayed there and it looked at me. And of course it was a whale, and that eye, it just pierced me. It changed me. There was an activation when that whale looked at me. And I get shivers just thinking about it. That opened me to be able to communicate with the whales. And in a way, of course, I didn't know in that very moment, but I knew something really special was happening. And I also related to the fact that it was on Mother's Day and I was missing my mom. And I so much wanted to share this experience with someone. I looked around, big beach, everybody, nobody was there. The whole beach was just vacant. It was just me out on the jetty. And I realized then that this was for me. I was really to experience that alone. And so I looked up at the sun and I was just giving thanks. I was like in tears with gratitude for that. And a white ring formed around the sun. It happened real slow. It just started like we're painting the sun, in a white circle. And then I heard very clearly, you are a creator. You are a creator. Remember. I literally fell on my knees, and it was a day I'll never forget. And maybe some of you've had those experiences, but if you connect with the cetaceans, being the dolphins and whales, you also will open. I don't know how it will happen for you, but it will. They will come to you. And I can't even tell you how many calls and emails now, more than I did, like say 2 years ago or 5 years ago, where people are dreaming with them. They're coming to the people. And they're saying in the dream state, connect with me, work with me. And so people are finding me, so, we're all magnetized to find each other. And it's just joyful to see somebody come seeking this energy like you guys are today. I mean, it's incredible to be like our own pod, raising our consciousness and connecting with them. So just a wonderful little story I wanted to share with you. And it's a little bit about the early years of me being activated. And there's more. In fact, right now I'm going to share the screen and we're going to look at a PowerPoint. So hang with me here. Here we go. Mm-hmm. No, hold on. There we go. All right. Move this up. So welcome to Whales of the World. There's a picture of me a few years ago with Mr. Puda. And here's again, I'm reiterating the title, I Am Standing Whale Mother, which I embrace from my heart now. And what that means to me is that I have made an agreement with the cetaceans to be their voice, to be available for them when they want to bring forth a message or someone seeking their healing. And I can be the voice for them through the process of just tuning in and repeating to the client what they're telling me. So happy to say that. Oh, I know what I want to say to you. The earlier slide with the humpback whale, that humpback whale was in San Francisco and it was all tangled up in nets. And when the divers cut the whale loose, it held out its fin like that. And it was so much gratitude. So the little story there. So this is a picture of a humpback whale, which we're working with today. We, the whales, are here to awaken the ancient codes of creation within us. The codes are given in partnership with the ancient whales of planet Earth. This is the lifetime and the time that we have waited for to create a life of peace and harmony on this great planet. And the time is now. And what the whales say is, if you look around in the world and you see people that are peaceful, these are people that you can connect with. These are people you can learn from. These are people you want to spend time with. But if we look at a great portion of the world, an awful lot of humans yet still haven't awakened. They're not living in their hearts yet, and they really are creating a lot of chaos and negativity. And the truth is, they don't really love themselves. They don't even really know who they are and the great being that they are that has come to the earth. So this is another reason to connect to the whales, because they will help you so much with the issue of feeling worthy and the issue of being able to stay in peace and harmony no matter what's going on around you. They would guide you to say, if you're in the presence of negativity or chaos, or people are having a talk about something that they consider scary, it's okay to leave the room. It's okay, not throwing up your arms and saying to them, you're stupid and I know what's going on. Just gently, just embrace them with your heart, and then just excuse yourself. Just move yourself away from that energy. And over time, if you continue on this path where you're radiating light from your heart, you're connecting to the whales, you will emanate new codes from your heart, and you will attract new people that will want to spend time with you that earlier, if you were in negativity, would not have. So like attracts like, and the spiritual family that is closest to you wants to connect with you now. And that's one of their greatest messages. Is different times throughout the year, I teach a class called Cosmology, Connecting to Your Galactic Family. And Master Buddha is an aspect of a really ancient soul, some of you may know, called Seth. And Seth is an expert in all of this. So he just guides it and takes us through the dimensions to the different planets and helps each person connect with their soul family. But one of the ways to stay in that vibration, again, is to stay connected to the whales and know that they don't leave the vibration of what we call bliss. I mean, they're so high that I don't know what to say. I would say that it's easier probably to hear the dolphins first, and then maybe later the whales as they connect with you. But their vibration is so high, it's like floating. And they're very connected, as you see in the picture, to the grid systems. The humpback whales swim in their etheric bodies 60 miles outside of the crystalline grid, and they're always adjusting it. So they do an awful lot for the planet as well as for us. They say it's time for the humans to begin and live and create from your heart. And if you don't know how to go into your heart, there's different modalities you can use, but our society has taught us to be analytical, to be in the mind. Our society's also taught us to compete, and try to win, knock somebody over to win the prize, to see yourself work hard and so you can be smart, And all of this is a spiritual, it's really a lie. We're all created equal. Each person is completely unique and offers diversity to the planet and special gifts that really only they can do. And so we don't really discover that part of ourselves until we come back to the heart. The heart is the organ that we were always meant to use in that field to create love and to create solution energy. So in your mind, you will always be in duality. You will always be in judgment. And I don't think you'll really find happiness there, because there's always something maybe nice that you can do or something beautiful that you can create. But the other side of your mind will knock you over and say, oh, you're not very good at that. Or you had a great experience and say, well, that wasn't real. Or you're not good enough to do that. Your mind will talk you out of the most incredible things. So try not to do that. Try to move gently out of thinking and judging into what I call observation, to where you can look at something, but you're not attached to the outcome, because you're very, very busy working on your own things. You're very busy working on the vibration of self-love and allowing that to rise every day. And again, that just comes from being in the heart. So not ashamed to say it's okay to go back in your heart 100 times a day. Every time you're in your heart, you feel great. And then maybe you hear something and you pop out. Then you have a judgment, because again, we're trained to have judgment. And you go, oops, I'm having a judgment. I don't want to do that. Back in the heart. And eventually you will train yourself to stay in the heart for long periods of time. And you'll just, it changes everything. When you change the vibration, you change the way you manifest and the way that you exist in relationships in the world. And so this class is a good primer for that. So here we go. Do you create from your mind within duality, or do you live and create from your heart? Are you ready to become, I'm sure already a lot of you would consider yourself conscious creators, but each day we can become a more vibrant conscious creator, allowing more information and more wisdom, more healing. So we have a film that we made a few years ago. It's called Ascension Guidance, Living in Your Sacred Heart. And it's really, the script was really written by Master Buddha and the whales and dolphins. And again, I was the secretary, translator. So, and it's free to everyone. So if you'd like to have the film, you can email me at lauriereyon@yahoo.com. That's LAURIEREYON@yahoo.com. And I'll bounce it back to you. Okay. So you can watch it. It's really good. I'm not just saying that because I worked on it. It really, really is a beautiful film. So right now, we are going to watch a little clip. Mm. Okay, clicked on the wrong button. Hold on. We want Ascension Guidance new. There we go. Here we go.
Tools for Ascension. Living in your sacred heart. Living in the heart is utilizing the most important cosmic law. Entering the sacred place of your heart is the source of creation. The heart is the key to everything. The heart is older than the body and the brain. The secrets that you are seeking are within your heart. Within your heart is where creation takes place. The brain requires light to see and exist, but the heart sees in darkness. In the heart is a world without fear. There is a vibration with the heart that is the Om to the universe. It is the heart that contains the original instructions for life. And when the heart is again in control of a person's life, life responds with joy and power. The heart is the key to everything. There is a secret inside the heart that is there for you. There is a tiny space within the heart where creation actually takes place. When you create from your heart, you create beauty, pristine vibration, a world without fear, a world without polarity or duality. When you create from the heart, there is no karma, because the heart is incapable of lying. When you create from your mind, there is polarity, and it does not matter how incredibly beautiful something that you would create from your mind is, because somewhere in the world is an equal or opposite reaction to that. So when you move into the heart, there is only love, there is only truth, and there is only beauty, because your heart is incapable of lying or misleading you. We are living in a feeling universe, not a thinking universe. If you have been thinking your way through life, you may be sadly dismayed with the creations that are occurring in your life. We suggest that you move immediately into your heart and begin to create without polarity. Master Buddha lovingly suggests that you take out your brain and that you dig a hole in the backyard. You bury your brain and you forget where you put it. The heart is the map and the key to your life.
She's pretty funny. She likes to tell jokes like that. So, so we hope you enjoyed that. I'm back here. So we have a mantra, and I really believe in this mantra because it connects us directly to conscious creation and also to the law of attraction. So I say, what I think and what I feel, I bring into form. I am a conscious creator. So if you'd like to say that with me in your homes, what I think and what I feel, I bring into form. I am a conscious creator. Let's say it one more time. What I think and what I feel, I bring into form. I am a conscious creator. So incredible to be that way as opposed to being unconscious and feel like, you're lost in the stream of 3D negativity and chaos. You take your power back, and again, you manifest completely differently when you're in your heart. And not only that, you manifest with love. So it's time to use your free will for the highest and best good. It's time to remember who you really are and why you came to Earth at this time. It's time to remember that life is a choice and you are the creator. So when the whales say it's time to remember who you really are, they really want you to make an effort, and even ask your guides, ask the whales to help you to remember your star family. No one's from Earth, and sometimes we forget that. We're not from here. Everybody's camping. We're just visitors here. So why would you come here? Interesting question, isn't it? What special gifts do you have that you brought here to share with this planet and with the people? Another interesting question. And it's not just one thing. I mean, we always have many gifts, but I guarantee there's something that you're here to do that really no one else can do. And Master Buddha always says, if you don't do it, they'll send 12 other people to do it, because that's how many it would take. So we're really encouraging people to go into that, the divinity within you, and to see yourself as not only worthy, but exalted in the sense of being a cosmic conscious creator that's come to the planet to do some special things. And of course, they don't ask you to do it by yourself. You have this beautiful team around you. And now you have whales with you if you choose to continue to connect to them. Boy, can they help you. So, okay. Our intention is to create a human form that can carry more light. Okay, so why would we want to do that? What is light? Light is healing. Light is information. Light is wisdom. Light contains memories. It's all good to create more light and to return slowly to our original form, which is a light body. Our mission is to calibrate our DNA to carry more light. And the human has 12 strands of DNA. Of course, science hasn't discovered all of that yet, but reality check is science will always be behind the spiritual processes and the metaphysics that are given to us. So these classes, this workshop is an immersion into the initiations of light with the whales. But remember, you have free will, and free will is an incredible gift that's given to you on this planet. You have the ability to go into negativity. You have the ability to turn and not do your mission. You have the ability to sit on the couch. You don't have to do anything. And no one is from the spiritual realms is going to love you any less. You will always be loved and cared for and supported no matter what you do. You need to know that there's no punishment. There's no consequence if you don't, but there's a lot of encouragement to step up and to be an active light worker. And there's no faster way that I know. I encourage anybody to challenge me on this. There's really no faster path to healing and calibrating your DNA than working with the dolphins and whales. Again, remember, they've got millions of years of experience on us, and they've been here since the beginning. So they can access your Akashic records, which is the journey of your soul over every lifetime. And they can pull forth information and remove resistance. So you're really accessing your mastery. So think about that. And always give, I'm encouraging you anyway, to always give permission for them to come to you and to share their expertise with you. So who are they? The whales are our elders. They tell me they came to Earth 300 million years ago. I worked with Drunville about 10 years ago in the Flower of Life teachings, and he thinks it's more like 500 million. So I don't know if it matters even. I mean, we're not even capable of really understanding 1 million years. So we're like little toddlers, to the whales. And they just love us, like you would treat a baby. You just take extra care of them while they're growing up. And the words they use are intentional evolution is occurring for the human now. This is the time we were slated in the script of Earth to wake up. This is the time when everyone's going to have some type of experience. So they are super sentient, ascended beings from the planet Sirius B, and they are stewards for humanity. It's a great picture of the whale breaching. So John Lilly said, communication with the whales and the dolphins is the greatest achievement the human race can aspire to. So John Lilly's passed now, but he was one of the early pioneers that worked with the whales. He actually put himself in these saline tanks where there was no light, and he floated, and he broke through to communication with the whales and did some amazing research, just amazing. He was connected to my friend Roberta Goodman. Some of you may know her of her work. She had a lot of years in Hawaii. She's one of the co-authors to our book, Dolphins and Whales Forever. And she worked with him. In fact, she was his fiance when he passed. And she has a recording of walking into where the whales and the dolphins that they were working with. Well, I'm actually speaking of the dolphins right now. We're in a tank, and they studied them every day and worked with them, about their intelligence. And she walked into the tank one day, and she could clearly hear the dolphin say, "Hello, Roberta. Hello, Roberta. Hello, Roberta." And she's got it recorded. It's amazing. And she never taught them her name. She never told them her name, but yet they wanted to share that with her, that they knew her. So incredible. So a breakthrough, so to speak, for the humans. So a little bit again of my story. Interspecies communication for me expanded while living in the beaches in Baja. And again, Master Puda taught me to talk to the dolphins. It was an earlier version of Puda. Puda has incarnated now 4 times in this lifetime. And this was it early on, Puda, that I talked to you about. 3 dolphins visited me every day for 6 years, and they taught me that they are the emissaries of joy. And just so you know, dolphins are whales. They're toothed whales. So, however, all whales are not dolphins. So, if that makes sense. Beautiful souls. These are bottlenose dolphins. So they asked me to be a voice for the group consciousness of the dolphins and whales, who are the ancients of our planet. And they said the cetaceans are the stewards for Earth and are the molecular librarians of the Akashic records. So they access the Akashic records in 2 different ways. One is through the water molecules in the ocean. The ocean is an archive. It's a library, actually, for all of us. And the other way is to connect to the grid, to the crystalline grid, where our Akashic records are available as well. So dolphins and whales live in the pod mind, and they're all telepathic. They're always connected to the good of the many, not the one. So this is hopefully our future. Hopefully we'll live in the pod mind of humanity, and no one will feel that there's a need for, I guess the word is privacy, to shut themselves away. I mean, that there's parts of their lives that they don't feel comfortable sharing. And again, I don't want to judge. I'm just going to point out in an observation kind of way, why would we hide anything if we're living in love? Why would we pull ourselves away from others and feel like parts of us aren't good enough to share? So in the pod mind with the dolphins, if one of them's going to have a baby, all of the others come and help her. And when they're in this is what we call a stampede, when they all get together and they just swim, they go really fast because they can't go really fast. They're just in literal joy. It's incredible. So it truly is the pod mind. And it's something to think about. It starts with, I think, with groups like what we're doing now, because we're forming our own pod. And hopefully everybody feels comfortable enough to share with each other and, to learn from these great dolphins and whales, but also to know that you're a part of it. You're a unique part of it. And without you, it wouldn't be complete. Okay. You have a special place. So tap into that pod mind there. Okay, I already played the messages from the whales and dolphins. When I was getting ready to start the class today, they told me to begin with it. So we watched that already. But here's a great picture of a humpback whale. I mean, they breach, like, I don't even know. I just call them show-offs because I can't even jump out of the water. I don't know about you, but I mean, many tons. They just throw themselves out of the water like it's nothing. Powerful.
Laurie, we're not seeing the slides.
You're not?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay. Let me go back and share again. Okay, so was anybody not seeing them, or just go ahead and unmute yourself and tell me?
Not seeing.
Not seeing them.
Not seeing.
Not seeing them.
Not seeing them. Okay. Okay, I'm in share mode. So can you see that slide now?
We see
Yes.
the screen now. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go back a few. So thanks for telling me, and always do that. If something's not working, you got to tell me. Go back a little ways. This is the mantra we did. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Okay. It's time to use your free will, your highest and best good, to remember who you are, connecting to your creator, and of course to the dolphins and whales. It's our intention to create a human form that can carry more light. So this class is an immersion into the initiations of light. There's one of the beautiful white whales. And here we read the whales are our elders, that they've been here some 300 million years. They come from Sirius B. And I just talked to you a little bit about John Lilly, where he said the great communication with the dolphins and whales is the greatest achievement the human race can aspire to. Let me move this down here. He was one of the early pioneers. I was going to go on and say, well, I was talking about Roberta being his fiance and the dolphins saying her name. And then I was going to say he was the one behind the first TV show Flipper. There were 3 dolphins that were trained to be Flipper, basically. But one in particular, her name was Susie, was the main one. And what he told us is that Susie agreed, and the other dolphins too, but Susie communicated with him that she would give him 7 years and to teach him many things. And one of the things she taught him, because he was a doctor, is some brain surgery techniques. In the early years, they would try to anesthetize a dolphin and then, look at it, I suppose surgery, or, try to figure out why they're so smart or scientifically learn about them. And as soon as they anesthetized the dolphin died. It just took itself out. So you cannot anesthetize a dolphin. They won't allow for it. They want to teach us in a pure way, So basically, Susie said, I'm going to teach you some brain surgery techniques that you will be able to go and use on humans that will save many lives. And they did. And to this day, some of those brain surgery techniques are used on humans that came from the dolphins teaching. Really amazing. I'm getting a big hug, guys. They like I'm telling that story. So John Lilly said many things. I think you could check out his website. He has some books. Just amazing foundational member of what we're doing now, all of us that are communicating with dolphins and whales. But I love this quote, and I like to think I'm following in his footsteps. The greatest achievement is communication with them that we can aspire to. Their wisdom is timeless, So thank you, John, for what you did. So here we are, interspecies communication for me expanded. As I said, when I was living in Baja, and Kuda taught me to talk to these beautiful souls. And here are the 3 dolphins. They're bottlenose. And I'll repeat again, dolphins are toothed whales. There are 2 species of whales. There's baleen whales, which have the comb-like fringe that humpbacks do. And then there's toothed whales like the sperm whales. And of course, the dolphins. Okay. So the dolphins asked me to be the voice for the group consciousness of their work as we connect to the ancients. They are stewards for Earth and are the molecular librarians of the Akashic records. So we talked about the Akash being in the water molecules in the ocean and also on the grid. And of course, if you know people, I had a near-death experience where I had a life review. So they're also in higher dimensions because I was shown my whole life. So I know other people have had that experience too, and that's coming through the Akashic records. And here's the pod we were talking about. That humanity is, without even knowing it, we're seeking this. Everyone wants to be in the pod, even if they don't know it yet. They really do. We're all connected. And I'm sure you've heard that we're seeking oneness as we rise up dimensionally and in our frequency. Okay, and here's a beautiful picture of a humpback whale breaching. But again, we've already listened to this film clip. So over the past 18 years, it's really 19 now, I've been in service to the collective consciousness of the whales and the dolphins of Earth and Sirius B. This brought me much wisdom and great joy. I channel and share their messages and have created what is now known as the dolphin and whale energy medicine. Thousands of people have received these healings, and we have seen many accelerated emotional and physical healings. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. Just up here. The energy comes when we summon them and we begin to work. It comes from one or more of the ascended dolphin or whale beings and that travel in their Merkaba light ships. Now, the Merkaba is also known as the light body. So if you guys studied Merkaba or you've activated yours, It's called a double star tetrahedron. It's two three-sided pyramids that are inverted together, which is the recreation of your Merkaba. And they come to the destination of the client. The process works in person and long distance equally. In fact, almost everything I'm doing now is long distance. And it, is really just as powerful, if not even more powerful. And they come and they drop their Merkaba down around you in the home, and it starts to spin, and amazing things happen. So we began our study with the humpback whales, this particular species. The humpbacks are the healer of healers for humanity, as they are always here to assist us in many ways. And once again, we're saying humpback whales have the ability to access your Akashic records, which is the journey of your soul and connecting to your original soul divine blueprint. Now that would be the blueprint that you designed when you first came to Earth. So in its purity, it's always good to reconnect to that, to revisit the things that you really wanted to do in this lifetime. You are offered an opportunity for healing and to access your original state of existence. It's a beautiful thing to do. So I've got some pictures so you can really tune in. And by looking at the pictures, you're starting to receive their codes. You're starting to feel their energy. They're so conscious, they're so sentient, and they've already connected to everybody that's in this class, even the people that'll be watching the replay. And they're available and ready to help you. So here's some of the things they offer: is a reconnection to your passion, which is really your creativity. To respect, patience, gratitude. Remember, gratitude is always the key. Master Buddha says gratitude is the key to the universe. So don't forget where you put your key, wear it around your neck. Appreciation. Another great picture. And remembering that even though we're looking at them in the physical, it doesn't mean you have to go where they are. Of course, they'd love to see you in the physical. Love to have you come out on the boats and see them, or go to one of the very, very few places where you can swim with whales. It's a wonderful experience, but it's not necessary to connect with them in any way. These are multidimensional ascended beings that can come right to you, but they have to have your permission, right? So the more you open your heart and you ask them to be with you, the more you will see a shift and a change. The babies are incredible, and they usually are floating right on top of mom, where mom keeps them safe and can lift them up if need be to breathe. The humpback whales can hold their breath for, they say some of them almost an hour. I think a regular breath for them would be more like 10 minutes, maybe 15 or 20 minutes. But the babies, of course, can't do that yet. So mom stays pretty close to the surface. So this is a recent channel that I received from one of the white whales called Vindicata, also known as Sunra. So I'm going to read it to you. Beloved humans, we are your elders, and we are the molecular librarians of Earth's history. We embody conscious creation, and we have the experience and intention to assist you with core level healing. It is our intention to assist humanity in claiming your mastery and restoring your physical forms to radiant health. As you awaken your dormant DNA, you will naturally evolve into awakened geniuses. You will then live and create from your hearts in communities across the globe, where you change the outdated and broken structures of medicine, and of education, government, and create sustainable living. Connect with us now, and we will accelerate your intention to evolve. We are solution energy. We are the great whales. We represent the cetacean nations of Earth, and we are cosmic creators. So it's a short channel, but it says so much about their abilities. I hope you enjoyed that. Another great breach. Another great picture. This was taken from a boat I was on in Maui. The whales leave the Arctic area where they live part of the year, and make this really long migration to the Hawaiian Islands. And this is where they mate and they give birth in the warm waters. And they're just joyful, just so joyful. It's kind of fun to see all the big humpback males reaching and flipping and tail slapping and, doing everything they can to say, hey, honey, choose me, I'm the big male, They really are spectacular in their effort to get the female to notice them and choose him. Then they swim back. Let's see, they start their migration usually in late November. And by the end of December or mid-December, even sometimes they arrive in Hawaii. And then they stay until usually the first or second week in April. So there's a nice time. I usually do, for 10 years, I've done a Hawaiian retreat during that time. So we could go out on the boats and see them, experience them. It's illegal to swim with them, but it's many times I'm happy to say that they came right to the boat and we were able to be in the water with them, at least for a little while. You have to watch out for the Coast Guard, but it's one of those things that humans like to make laws, A great shot. Wow. You can feel the majesty and the power. And one of the great things to do is to connect to their eye. In fact, in our meditations, we usually encourage people to come into the eye just as the whale comes and drops down over your home and then merge, coming right into the eye and just relaxing. It's spectacular to do that. If you haven't done it, we'll have to try it. And again, one of my favorite pictures, totally expressing the gratitude to the diver that cut them free of the nets. Humpback whales are about 45 to 60 feet long. Okay, so we're just going to talk briefly now about the white humpback whales that are cosmic beings. So the story goes, each year going to Hawaii in 2011, I was asked to speak for the first time, I think, at the Star Knowledge Conference, which is one of the worldwide events for Indigenous people to get together. And Chief Golden Eagle found out about the work I was doing with the whales through Grandma Chandra, who's a friend of mine, mentor. And also, I told you she was the one that encouraged me to do my mission. She's amazing. And he contacted me and asked me to speak on the whales, of course. And also, when I travel, I take Master Cat Buddha with me. And he was very interested in meeting her and seeing her work. So we went to this conference, and I think it was 5 days. That first year, particular year, it was that I was asked to speak was in Cahokia, Illinois. And on the 5th day, Judith Moore, who's one of the great channels, she's also a friend and a mentor, went to sleep, and she woke up channeling the white whales. And we believe it came through Grandma Chandra, but Grandma Chandra doesn't speak. She's only telepathic. So Judith wrote down the names that she was given with a prophecy that the white whales would return to the earth and they would assist us. And again, we knew intuitively that these were not earth whales. They're not from Sirius B. They're from far distant place that, it's really not any place we can identify. And so she gave 13 names. And then at that conference, the Lakota people were there. Of course, a lot of Indigenous people were there. And the Lakota princess was able to look at her channel and help us correct the spelling because the words that were given were in the Lakota language. And there's another whole story there, which we can't do tonight, but there's a purpose to connecting back to the Lakota people because there's a portal there in their home world, which is Rosebud, South Dakota. So they used that to come back and speak to us. And it was just amazing. And it was actually the last day. And when that was over, Judith handed me the paper with the names of the white whales on it. And I didn't know it was the only copy. And she just handed it to me. And then, I stuck it in a bag and came home. And I don't know, it sat on my desk for a while, maybe a year. I don't know. And then Master Buddha came in and we were talking about the Hawaiian retreat, which was coming up we were planning it for 2012. And I knew it was a special year. A lot of people probably remember experiencing the shift of 12/21, 12. And she said we're to go to the island of Kauai this year. And on March 3rd, we're to go to the Stargate there on the island. And we're to be there when the white whales come through and they come back to the planet. And that they hadn't been on the planet since the planet was first created. And that they were here to assist humanity. And again, creating the light body, preparing us for ascension, just helping in every way they can. So that was a big prophecy. I mean, you don't just call up everybody and say, my cat said we're going to Kauai to the Stargate, So now, of course, if Buddha said something like that to me, I would completely agree, I would understand, and I would make it happen. But back then, that was, 10 years ago? Yeah. And I thought that was a pretty wild prophecy, even though I wanted to do that. So I called Judith, and I called Grandma Chandra, I called Mary Martin, I called people I know that I really trust, that are intuitive and very telepathic. And every single one of them, Jennifer McLean, I called, and they all said, not only are they getting that it's absolute truth that they were to go to. So I think 68 people went on that retreat. I remember having 2 buses, and it rained and it rained and it rained, but somehow we did it. And we went to the place that's the Stargate there. It's on the northeast corner of Kauai. It's called Anahola. If you ever go to Kauai, you can go there to that beach and experience the sacredness of that energy. And we went, and they came back, like they said they would. Energetically, we all felt it. And I felt like I had accomplished my purpose. I felt like I did the right thing. And as far as I knew, maybe the next thing was that they would just be here. I didn't know that more was coming. But I do remember one thing that happened there. The very first day we arrived, this was Buddha's first physical trip to Hawaii. It's kind of a big deal to take a cat. You have to plan many months in advance and go through, an airport quarantine, and anyway. So she was tired, and we had housed ourselves at the Kahuna's temple. It's called the Isis temple, and the Kahuna's daughter Tiffany was really our guide, and she was co-creating this with me. And Buddha was laying on this big bed. I can still see it. It's like a purple velvet bedspread, all stretched out. And Tiffany walks in and she says, Buddha, tell us where the Stargate is, because I'm going to be your guide. I'm going to guide the buses and all your people, but I don't know where it is. And so Buddha says, it's just north of your house and a little bit east. It's called Anahola. And Tiffany says, oh, I know exactly where you're talking about. It's already a sacred hill. And one of our old kahunas lives there. Buddha said, well, that makes sense, because, it is a very sacred place. And you would naturally tune into it. And then she said, did you know the Dalai Lama was here 2 weeks ago? And of course we said, I didn't know that. And she said, the Dalai Lama took his people there to Anahola, to the Stargate. And he said to his group, this is where all souls enter the planet. And I can still see it. Buddha rolled over on her back. She has a white tummy and stretched out. And she said, isn't it nice the Dalai Lama agrees with me? I have to still laugh. So we had to laugh over that. But anyway, we were able to go there and experience it. Then later that year, in July of 2012, my filmmaker, we were making the film Ascension Guidance at the time, saw a picture of this whale whose name is Migaloo, and that he appeared in Australia. So then I got the message that the whales would be coming back, at various times, not all at once, but in the next few years, all 12 white whales would return to the planet. And the mother white whale, being the 13th whale, would have an overlighting presence for the planet. I guess she's not going to come into physical form because, well, part of it's because she's so big. She describes her light body as larger than Jupiter. So it's big, very big. So anyway, here is Migaloo, and he is carrying that mother whale energy. And I'm just happy to introduce him to you. So March 3rd, 2012 was the day the gate opened, with Buddha leading the ceremony, actually. It's a beautiful day. Even though it was raining, we did it. So they're here to assist humanity in creating light body. And they've identified themselves now and given us cosmic names that go along with the Lakota names that originally first were given. And they have shared these templates with us, which are all about creating light body. And of course, this is part of my healing work, and you can check it out on our website if you like. We have a healing page where we talk quite a bit about it. And now we also have a school We're going to be starting a new class in October of this year, which is the 4th year of the Whale and Dolphin Energy Medicine School. And the Whales asked me to do it, of course, 4 years ago. Created the manuals. They're amazing, just amazing. It's beyond. And the students learn, and we practice on each other doing the templates and, healing each other basically and connecting to the whales. So one of the goals for the students is to become telepathic with all 12 whales, to know them when they come into the room, to experience them in their diversity. So it's beautiful. You can check it out if you like. One of the things that's come forth is Dr. Emoto, which most of you know, photographed pictures of water at the molecular level, proving that water is sentient, it's alive, it's conscious. Some of you may remember that this is what the water molecules look like in the presence of compassion, gratitude, wisdom, and also that the water molecules collapse into some type of darkness or in the presence of negativity. So further, Dr. Emoto and Dr. Todd Ovakaides, who also works with Reyon, use the humpback whale songs to successfully clear the filthy and toxic Japanese tap water. So the way Dr. Todd describes it is that the Japanese tap water was green and filthy, and even Amazing Grace didn't make a difference. The water just didn't change. It was too filthy until they played the humpback whale sounds, and then it cleared immediately. And they examined the water molecules and they formed the star tetrahedron, which is the molecule of the light body, the structure of the light body for all of us. So that's scientific proof that by listening to humpback whale sounds, you're experiencing a huge change in your body. Your bloodstream is changing. The lymph in your body is changing when you listen to humpback whale sounds. In fact, here at my house, I'm pretty regular about playing whale sounds in my office every day, sometimes in the living room. And Master Buddha reminds me if I don't. She likes to know the house is being cleared of lower energies by us all listening to whale sounds. So, only the whale sounds could clear the toxic water. Star tetrahedron crystals formed as the whales returned the water to pristine clarity. So the whales have clearly told us that the songs are the songs of creation, and they bring us back to this incredible pristine state using their powerful healing sounds. Amazing. So I invite you to experiment with that in your own home, is to play whale sounds and watch how the animals react. They immediately will be excited. They understand that they're listening to sounds that will heal them, restore them to alignment. And you'll feel the shift too if you ask for it. Okay.
Laurie, where can we get whale sounds?
Well, you can buy CDs that are just whale sounds. One of my favorite ones is Paul Winter, and you can find a lot of them on YouTube, which would be free. So we've done a lot, and there's more to do, but I want to just open up for a minute to see if anyone has a question or wants to share. How you doing? You can unmute yourself if you like. If you have something you'd like to say or share.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Kathy.
Kathy. Hi. This has just been amazing. And I feel like I'm reminiscing. It was exactly 2 years ago on this date, we were on Maria. And it was so wonderful to go even deeper through this today, everything that you put out. I've cried so many times. It's really, really beautiful. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for sharing. Yeah, we had 24 people slated to go to Maria, and I was going to be there 2 weeks at this time. Of course, the pandemic has shifted all of that. It's just too complicated to travel that far, and quarantines and so forth. So we canceled the retreat this year, but I'm hopeful for next year. We'll go in September. That's when they're there. Maria is the island that's off Tahiti in French Polynesia. And it's one of the places you can legally swim with the humpbacks. So really hopeful to go back. I think it's the most beautiful place in the world I've ever seen. I could be wrong. I mean, there are many beautiful places, but the island is even shaped like a heart. And it's just incredible. So beautiful. So anybody else want to share?
Who?
I have a little story, I guess you could say. A couple of years ago, I was swimming with Joan Ocean actually in on one of her dolphin trips, and we came across pilot whales, and they were swimming with us, um, and we were a pod of like 10 humans or something like that, but um, we were watching them, and it was a mother and baby, and they were following us. And we watched them, and they decided that they were imitating us. So they kind of went from horizontal to vertical, and we were bobbing, and so they were kind of imitating us and doing the same thing. Now we were in the water for quite a while, and we could feel this sound coming from them,
Yeah.
and it was high pitched, not exactly audible, but you could feel it in your body. And way later, after like we had gotten off the boat and we were reflecting on what happened that day, we were all feeling sort of not grounded and really high, really floaty. So just now, when you were playing the messages video, I was watching it and I was feeling like, ooh, this feeling, whatever's emanating from this video was sort of that same feeling I was getting from when I was in the water. So, and you said they're here, or they're doing something. They've come to say hi to us. I thought, oh my gosh, that was the same feeling as
Yeah.
when we were in the water with them.
Well,
So that was
they're
really cool.
with you right now, with each of you.
Yeah.
And they're saying they'll also go and be with the people that'll watch the replay, which is about half this class. So they want to come to you. And as soon as, again, the person gives permission, they can begin doing some alignment work for you, some recalibration, basically. So remember to open to that. Thank you for sharing, though. Beautiful. Yeah, I've had 2 experiences with pilot whales myself. And one was just so incredibly beautiful. It was the first day of one of my Hawaiian retreats. I think it was 3 years ago. And everybody got off the boat to go and swim with the pilot whales because that was the first thing we came to before we found the dolphins. And everyone was enjoying themselves. And I actually didn't get in the water. 2 things. One is I had a cold. And number 2, I wanted Puda to be lifted up. So I put her up on my shoulder because she likes to go on the boat so she could see them. And as soon as I did that, the pilot whales turned around and came back to the boat. And they came right to the side where I was standing with Puda. And they started to talk. And if I had gotten in the water, I would have missed all of this. I mean, it was just incredible. They recognized her. And they were saying things like, oh, great cosmic creator, how are we seeing you this way? Who are you in the body we're seeing? And she says, I am Cat. And they said, we don't know Cat. And she said, well, most cats don't come to the ocean or go out on the water. I'm unique in that way. I like water. And they said, we honor you. We see you. We know all of the work that you've done over your many lives. And then they all started to pray together. And they were praying for the planet. It's just amazing. And the captain was up on the second deck, right? And he saw all the whales leave the people and come to the boat. And he came down and he said, what's going on? And I said, well, I think they want to see Puda. And he said, why would they want to do that? And I said, I don't know, but they do. They really want to look at her and talk to her. He said, are they talking to her right now? And I said, yeah, they are talking. And, I tried to explain to him what's going on, but I don't know if he got it. He's a really great guy, but Puda's kind of out there, even for me. I mean, she's really, it's amazing stuff. So then the people started to swim back to the boat because the whales were not coming back to them. And they climbed up on the boat. And as they were doing that, the pilot whales lined up, like side by side, like horses. And I could see they were having trouble holding the space of lining up, ding, 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 right? But they did. And then we counted, and the people that were getting on the boat said, there's 22. What are they doing? And I said, I don't know, it's an honoring. 22 is a master number, and they're honoring us, you guys. And then one of the pilot whales said to me, how can we participate in what you're doing? And I said, well, this is a spiritual retreat, and we're here to connect to the consciousness of the dolphins and whales. So you're already doing it. You're participating already. And they said, but we want to do more. And I said, okay. And then one looked at Puda, and Puda said, they want to hold the sacred space. So later tonight, this was the first thing we did. When we get back, we're going to go out on the grass by the hotel and, sit together and open the directions and meditate with them, just be really conscious of having opening the sacred space for the whole week, basically. So 4 pilot whales said, we would like to come and hold the directions. And they did. And then they stayed the whole week. It was just amazing. Everyone could feel them. So they really do want to be connected to us. And I was actually talking to Joan Ocean on the Cetacean Summit, and she said the pilot whales are more friendly now than they've ever been. They're coming more and more to the people, more than they ever have in previous years. In fact, I remember going on one of her retreats many years ago, and we saw pilot whales, but they weren't friendly. I mean, they weren't, afraid of us or anything, but they didn't make an effort to connect like the dolphins do, So this encounter we had was, it changed my whole attitude about them, And I was really grateful that I got to hold Puda so we could have that whole experience, So if pilot whales, if you feel their energy right now, that's why. And, just embrace them, let them in. And they're incredible. They're beautiful too. So anybody else want to share or have a question? Anybody? Okay. Are you having fun? Good. Okay. So we're going to do a meditation now. It's about 15 minutes. And one of the ways you can experience it in a more personal way is to wear a blindfold or a scarf over your eyes. We found that by blocking out the light with the physical eyes, that the pineal gland, which is the third eye, it's located between the 2 halves of your brain, will activate, and it will step up your gifts, basically, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience. We all have the ability to do all of those things, to be fully clairaudient and to be clairvoyant, which is to see what's in the room outside of the physical realm. And claircognizance, clairsentience really both mean that gut feeling that you get, clear knowing, it comes through the gut. In fact, that's the most common gift that people activate, where they learn to trust that as communication that's coming from spirit. So feel into that, and I would set your intentions now to connect with the humpbacks and maybe the pilot whales too, but the meditation was created by a humpback whale. And the humpback that did this is Bella, so you can even connect to her by name. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen. Okay. A minute here. Thought I put it out. There we go.
This is a whale guided meditation. We, the great whales of your beautiful blue oceans, invite you now to come with us on a journey into the cosmic heart. We are the ancient of the ancients, and we are the soul of the souls. We are your past, and we are your memories. We are a group consciousness joined together with you now in our hearts. We link with you now to create the future for healing and ascension of Mother Gaia. Let us go deep into the womb of our Mother Gaia and see that all that truly exists is deep and all-encompassing love. Let us feel this expanded and eternal love. This is love that is for each of us and for all of us. Let us feel the love that called us forth from Source to answer and lovingly come and experience creation and life here on beautiful Gaia. Let us enter the library of the Akashic Records together, where we can remember the truth of who we truly are. Each of us is a great and powerful spiritual being who is deeply connected to our Creator. We are extensions and representatives of the divine love of creation. Let us seek the truth of our origins, our choices, and our many, many lifetimes of love and service to this wondrous earth experience. We, the whales, were the first beings to incarnate upon planet Earth. We, the whales, are the molecular Akashic librarians of Earth's evolution. What we refer to as the Akashic Records lives in the oceans of planet Earth. The information is stored in the water molecules and contains the records of every journey, of every soul, over every lifetime. Because water is never destroyed, only recycled, Earth's entire history remains safe in our ocean archives. Let us enter the library of the Akashic Records together, where we can remember the truth of who we truly are. Each of us is a great and powerful spiritual being who is deeply connected to our Creator. Each of us is greatly honored and loved for making the decision to come to this beautiful blue planet. Each of us is loved for making the choice to consciously forget who we truly are when we were born in this lifetime. Each of us is now encouraged to connect with the whales as we make the conscious choice to remember who we truly are. Remembering who we really are is an important choice for each of us at this time in Earth's evolution. We, the whales, are here now to communicate with you and assist you in seeking the truth of your being. It is important to now reach for the knowledge that is held in the Akasha. Once there was a time to consciously forget who you truly are, in that you would participate and create from that place. But now, by divine design, it is time to remember. Source Energy has asked us, the whales, to assist you, the humans, in remembering who you are. Now is the time to begin to create from a place of consciousness and to experience the truth of why you chose to be here today. In this quest for self-awareness, we can together identify ourselves as beings who value love above all else. We are coming to know ourselves as vibrations of love, and in doing so, confirm our belief in peace. We are also remembering our world and our beautiful Mother Gaia in a new light. Let us choose to gather with like-minded people and begin to take back the conscious control of our environment. Let us remember the power of our thoughts and feelings, as we are powerful creators, and together we will co-create a new world in which to live. Let us join together and use the power of intentional evolution to remember. And together, joined in love, let us now create in peace, harmony, and unity consciousness with every feeling, every desire, every thought, every word, and every action. The universe is one living, breathing, conscious being, and we are interconnected to our universe, to our planet, and to each other through the vibration of that which we call love. We, the whales, anchor the vibration of love that is beamed to Earth from distant sources. We now, in this meditation, join with you to anchor this love vibration together. We now align and synchronize our heartbeats with your heartbeat. Feel your heartbeat now, and consciously join your rhythm with ours. Now imagine and sense your living light field merging with the light fields of we, the whales. Now imagine and sense us joining our pulse and rhythm with that of Gaia, our beautiful Mother Earth. Here, we find harmony in our joined rhythms and living fields of color and sacred geometry. Here, we find an all-encompassing feeling of peace, and we find our own personal sense of purpose. Now come with me as we journey back through the cosmic heart to the heart of our Creator. Let us visit our beloved Creator and remember the love that is the origin of our source. Let us claim the true dreaming state of the living heart of the cosmos. We awaken to our true creatorship and to the truth of our soul's journey. We now claim our heritage as children of Creator Source. We are holy. We are sacred. We are divinity embodied. We are love, and we are light. We are truly one heart and one love. And so it is.
So how do you feel? Come back into your bodies, feeling refreshed, powerful. I'm guided to share a little story with you. I think it was 2003 when I moved in with 4 other people, and the 5 of us formed a healing center in Carlsbad. And while I was living there, the lagoon area and the beaches in that area experienced a sewage spill. It was really disgusting. It was awful. And, we got together and we said, what can we do? And I clearly heard that, that an indigenous person would be available to come to San Diego, to Carlsbad, and to lead us in the indigenous ways of clearing water and teach us about water blessing and water wheels and all kinds of things. And so a friend of mine knew this man. Some of you may know of him. His name is Marshall Jack. Right now he's currently living in Kauai, but he was here for many years, and he would show up at various times over the past few years, and we've done some ceremonies together, even held a retreat up in Santa Barbara. But when he first came in, he's a very powerful, big guy, Native American. There was a lot of people that gathered to make plans to work together, to work with the sewage spill. And each person wanted to speak and share their ideas. And of course, we did some prayers and water blessings. But Marshall Jack was there, and this is the first time I met him. He didn't say anything. He just sat there holding the presence. finally, like an hour and a half later, when everybody was done talking, he stood up and he said what he wanted to do. And he described it very clearly, that it would be a 3-day ceremony and he would lead us in prayers and various things that we would do to clear the waters, and they would be held on the beach. And it would start, I don't know, whatever that weekend was coming up in the morning early. And then he asked me to stand up. And I like, what? Why me? And he looked at me and he said, and you will bring forth a message from the Great Whale Council. And I just stood there. I just like, my eyes were like, what? And then I just heard myself say, I'm sorry, I just translate dolphins and cats. I've never done whales. He just sat back down. He didn't say anything. He didn't acknowledge what I said. And then we closed, of course, the sacred space, and people got up and milled around. And he said, as he was leaving, he turned around and he said very loud in his booming voice, he said, and Laurie will bring forth a message from the Great Whale Council in the opening ceremony. I just stood there like, okay, so that night I was up, I was like, I've been called out, and I like, how will this happen? I mean, it's never happened before. I've never been able to talk to the whales, or I have no idea how to do that, So I went up to my room and I just prayed. I asked for help. I contacted the dolphins and of course PUDA and all my guides, and nothing happened. I just sat there and I thought, well, I'm going to have to tell him, that I couldn't do it, but I'll bring a dolphin message, and I'll bring a message from Seth from PUDA. I didn't know that at that time that PUDA was an aspect of Seth. I just called her PUDA. And then I just at 3:30 in the morning, I just felt like a rumbling in my soul. It's hard to explain. It was in my stomach too. Felt like I was going to throw up even, but not in a bad way. It was just like a clearing, And I sat there and I heard, get a pencil. And I started to write, and I wrote the message you just heard, word for word. It was just like taking dictation. And it's been a signature piece for, and of course I've recorded it now. And then a couple other things happened where they talked to me about the pineal gland, which I'm going to share with you. But I just wanted to tell you that became my first whale message, and it came through powerful intention. It came through, I guess, honoring the request that was given to me by this Native American, but also just, it changed my life. It proved to me that I could do it, and the message was profound, I thought, where they talk about so many different things. And that became the foundation for my communication with whales. And it's been continuous from that time on. Now, it's similar to the way that happened, though. I've never really been able to call them. I mean, I can't go and sit down and sort of pick up the phone and call them. It doesn't work that way like I do with the dolphins. If you call the dolphins, they come right away. And they'll speak to you about yourself, or they'll speak to you about your family, about your job. I mean, they're very Johnny on the spot. We're here, we're ready to help. The whales, not so much. They come to me when they're ready to say something. Like the message I did earlier on, the short one. That's the most recent one that I've received, where it just came word for word. And it has, again, become a signature piece for me in working with people and putting it into the whale school and using it to help people, using it on my radio show. I mean, it's incredible. So if you call the whales and you don't hear their voice right away, that doesn't mean they are not there. And it doesn't mean they won't talk to you. It just means they're coming in their own way, first of all. And I have to say, I think it's vibration. I mean, also, because they're so vast and they're so intelligent, they're so wise, they have shared with me that they're actually a group consciousness. And one time a dolphin told me, I want to come back as a whale. It's like 100 dolphins in there, in that body of the whale. I'm like, really? He said, yeah. So I want to come back and be part of a whale. So it gave me another aspect, or a way to look at the energy of the whale. But when I started saying I would do their healing work, and I would, I would do what they said in the healing sessions, which was a period of years, almost like 15 years of doing that. They're right there. They come right away. As soon as I open the space, the whale Merkaba, the living body, descends around the house of the person. It starts to spin. If you guys study Merkaba, 2 directions. So they come every time if it's about healing, and that you're putting yourself out there to be a steward or to be in service to others other than yourself. Okay. And they'll also come and work with me if I ask them. I'm lying on my bed and I ask for healing. They will come, but not necessarily to give me a message. So I wanted to share that piece with you because that was such a profound day. But what they also said was that the end of polarity and duality is nearing. We've talked about that, but I mean, they acknowledge that. The responsibility that the whales have held for humanity is now being shared with many other humans. Well, those humans are you guys, okay? So expect to be more responsible with the energy of yourself, your consciousness, and the light that you carry, and how you merge with their consciousness and, say that I'm part of the cetacean nations, because you are, okay? As humans awaken to their true selves and choose to take, hold on here. Lots of notes, but and choose to take your power as children of Creator Source. So they said, we're reclaiming the true dreaming state of the heart. This is what they call true creatorship, that you have power over your own everything, through free will. Okay. What this means is that through exercising intentional evolution, we are entering into a time when thoughts will manifest very quickly into our dimensional realities. Because many of us have chosen to awaken to the truth of our soul's journey and become conscious creators, we are now able to connect with the super sentient ancient cetaceans that we call the whales. So they speak to us about the power of connecting the third eye, which is this tiny little organ between the two halves of your brain. It's called the third eye. It's also the pineal gland, to the energy of your heart, and running the energy up and down what they call the prana tube, which is like this size. And it's right in front of your spine. Actually, it runs all the way down into the earth, up through your perineum, up your body, up into your heart, and up into the third eye, and then even up through the crown. But when we connect the part that's from the heart to the third eye, amazing telepathic communication can come in. And it's done through self-love, and it's done through the power of believing that as you activate the pineal, you decalcify it, you allow it to grow. It's sort of like anybody. Let's say you want to run a marathon. You have to start somewhere before you can run. So first you start out by walking, right? And then running a couple of miles. And think of it like that. It's an organ that will build the more you use it. And the more that you use it effectively with the energy of the heart, which is love, you'll be delighted. So this is what they've said. Activating the pineal gland, which is the third eye. There are 2 sets of 4 rays of light, which can emanate from the pineal when that intention or desire is intended from a meditative state. So I want you to think about that. And they gave me a physical exercise, which I want to try with all of you. So it's basically taking the tip of your tongue and rubbing it on the roof of your mouth, like that. And there's actually an area in the back of the palate. You have to kind of reach back with the tip of your tongue. And as you massage the roof of your mouth, you start to experience a sensation that's, to quote Drunvalo Melchizedek, it's actually orgasmic. It's actually a sexual center in your body, which creates a beautiful sense of well-being and, joy. And as I'm rubbing that spot, I'm going to call on the roof of my mouth, immediately part of it starts to fill with blood. It starts to enlarge, engage. Other people will find they have a little crevice, like a little hole, and you can put your tongue in that and rub it. And does your tongue get tired? Yes, it does. But they had a process that they gave me way back when, before I really understood this. And what it is to rub your tongue side to side in the back of the palate, rubbing it over that area. So let's do that now. Let's rub side to side from right to left. And in your own way, you're asking through your intention to have the third eye activate and you to become more conscious, more ability to sense and feel through clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance. And now take the tip of your tongue and rub it in a clockwise circle on the roof of your mouth 3 times. So I'll just be quiet while you do that. And now start rubbing it side to side again. And try to do it in the back of your mouth. Just do it gently. And now take the tip of your tongue and rub this place counterclockwise 3 times. And then again, going back to side. So this is a consciousness exercise, and it absolutely works. Also, just sitting in a quiet space, meditating, connecting to the whales, even by listening to whale sounds. Just taking the tip of your tongue and just gently, not with any, not with any particular pattern, just rubbing what you envision to be this place, just gently massaging it, can greatly enhance your ability to connect the heart to the third eye and open that third eye. Beautiful. I'm just going to open up for a minute here. So how many people are experiencing some sensation? Just raise your hand. Put your picture back on so we can see. Good. It's very powerful. Anyway, so I learned this from the whales, and I remember teaching it in a meditation. Just raise your hand if you feel a difference. And if you don't, try it again another time. And I would enhance the experience by playing whale sounds in the background. But anyway, I taught this exercise at one of my boat trips, what the pandemic wasn't going on. And of course, again, in the future, I take people out on a boat out of Dana Point pretty often. I used to about that once a month, or just local people or people that are vacationing to come and go out on the boat and see the dolphins and whales. And I would give them a personal message from the dolphins. So something I enjoy. But we start out the day sitting on the grass in a meditation, introducing the dolphins and whales and me sharing a little history. So one time when Judith was here, Judith Moore, as my guest, I taught the people this, what I just taught you. And later she told me when we got up and went to get on the boat, she said, "You said the whales taught you that?" And I said, "Yes, they did." And she said, "Well, this is what the exercises that the Tibetans do." And they hold, as you probably know, the highest vibration of humans on the planet. At least we think they do. They're really holding presence on the planet for us to evolve, and that they understand the power of the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth for raising their consciousness. So just thought I'd share that. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. All right. So we have time now to work a little bit with the white whales. So I'm going to open up here and we're going to share the screen. And we're going to do another film clip. It's called Creating Light Body. And then we can talk about some of the templates and things that are available to you if you decide to work with the white whales that came back on March 3rd through that Stargate and that are here working with us every day. We can certainly come back and work with you as well. Okay.
Ascension tool number 9.
Let me know if you can't see it.
Creating light body. In preparing for ascension, it is important to understand that you are a multidimensional being. It is important to understand that you are capable of conscious time travel. In our meditation, we are going to suggest that you visualize now the eye of the great whale. Now, together, we will gently travel to and enter the eye of this great whale. The eye is a portal or a stargate. This portal to a different star system feels familiar, and it is perfect and right for you. And now, accompanied by your angels and guides, we enter into this multidimensional gateway with ease and grace. Within this vortex of great energy are the memories of how to return to waveform and become a light being. It is important to understand that the water-based body you currently inhabit is now being restructured and transformed into a crystalline body of light. You have the power within you to change your water body into a light body. In our multidimensional travel, we see ourselves now gently changing the molecular and atomic structure of our body into that of pure, crystalline, rainbow form. We experience an immense sense of gratitude for this experience as we remember our point of origin and experience ourselves once again that of pure light. We see our divine life blueprint and the patterns of perfection within ourselves. We see and experiencing the truth of our divine self and the origin of our creation. As we experience the perfection and truth of who we are, we envision our body, and we see our heart and the blood that runs through our arteries and veins. We see the life force that is our blood, and it is beautiful and red flowing within us. And now we begin to see our blood turning gently into silver light. The transformation of the golden spiral sweeps over us and through us. And we are now using the power of our intention to transform our blood into light. We are now silver light. And now, continuing to raise our vibration, we begin to use the power of the golden spiral to transform our silver light into gold. The gold light sweeps through us and becomes one with us as every molecule of our bodies transform into waveforms of gold. Our bodies are transforming into gold light, and our blood has become golden liquid light. And now we witness our organ systems beginning to glow with golden light. And now our lymph and muscle tissues are glowing with the golden light. And now, through the power of our intention and the divine light of Creator, our structural skeletal system and our very bones have become one with the golden spiral of light. We have transformed ourselves into a body of golden light, and we are now perfect and pristine. We are now literal patterns of perfection, ascended and free, embodying our ascended form of light. We are now expanded and conscious of our multidimensional selves. And now, gently, it is time to return back to our third dimensional bodies. Return gracefully and easily through the portal that is the eye of the great whale. Return now to your third dimensional awareness, body, and existence. We are bringing with us upgraded patterns of light and DNA. We have transformed our genetic structure and intelligence through the power of intention and our connection to the truth of our divine origins. We have brought the purity and expanded vision of this healing and meditation to our bodies on this day. We are one with all life everywhere. Join with me now and say, I am that I am. I am that I am. I remember I am. I remember I am. I am holy. I am holy. I am sacred. I am sacred. I am light, and I am love. I am light, and I am love. I am divinity embodied. I am divinity embodied. Master Buddha says, "Blessed be my Creator friends. Let us rejoice." And so it is. So come back into your own body.
Just acknowledging the difference in your vibration. We're offering some gratitude now to the great whales. The picture in the film piece is a humpback whale from Earth. I don't have any moving footage at this point of the white whales. They're in various parts of the different oceans all over the world. And I know one day I'll get to meet one of them in the physical. Migaloo that we first saw is in Australia. So I used that footage so we could have the experience of moving with them. But the meditation actually comes from the white whales. So anyway, I want to open up to comments or questions. We're nearing the end of the class, and I want you to feel that you've really received an upgrade. You know, and actually you're in the process of receiving it. So it will go on, if you ask it for some time, perhaps a couple of days. So you should nurture yourself, and love yourself, and stay connected. Yeah. Any comments, questions? They put you to sleep, huh? Nobody? Okay.
It was a real pleasure to listen to you again and to reconnect again and again.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
it's
Claude.
paradise, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Claude is in Europe. Remind me what country you're in.
in Switzerland.
Switzerland. And
Yeah.
she just graduated from what I'm going to talk about now, which is the Whale and Dolphin Energy Medicine School. She's a professional certified practitioner now, and just a few months ago, and has been very connected to our school and to the work, and is thriving, right? You have anything you want to say about that?
It's just if you feel, just do it because it will change your life. It will evolve. It will do so many things, you know, even if you don't see it right away, but something will change forever. And yeah, it's a blessing, really.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's not for the faint of heart, I would say. You know, it's intense in the
Yeah.
sense of the energy of being in that whale frequency for several hours sometimes when we're in class and when we're working on our fellow classmates during the homework that's given. But if you're called to do it, you know, like she said, I think you should do it because the whales are calling you. It's not me, you know. I just work here. In fact, I'm going to take a moment now to let you see a little bit more about that. Yeah, in fact, maybe when you come back, you'll bring Puda and we'll let her say hi to everybody. She's resting. This is our website. It's lauriereyon.com. And first, we'll just stop for a moment on the healing page, which is here. And if you're interested in doing more of the work with the humpbacks for yourself for healing, you start out with a whale healing and clearing session. And I'm not going to read the whole site to you, but you just trust your heart if this is something you want to do. And after you've done that, there's Master Puda working on the different people. She likes to lay right on your body. So when we do long distance, you can actually feel her. She gets right up on you and works with the whales. And these are the beautiful Endar crystals that accelerate the healing as well. So it's powerful. If you decide to go on, after you have this experience, you'll start to work with the white whales and the dolphins. And there's information here on customized light body activations. And when we work with the dolphins, they actually are the epigeneticists of the world. They calibrate the strands of DNA and the substrands as well. Some more pictures of this is both of my cats working on a lady. She's got her blindfold on and she's all covered up, but both cats working on her with the whales. My cats really, really, really enjoy this. So here are the templates. Hey, sweetie, you can take a look. And of course, this is available on the site. Starts out with the physical body, wisdom, protection, scanning, divine life blueprint. So much, is given here. And then after you've had about 2, sometimes 3 light body activations, the dolphins come in and they want to work with your DNA. And this involves helping you release resistance that's really up in there. It's in the DNA. You've been carrying it a long time. Think about rocks that have been in your backpack and you didn't even know they were there. And then also they'll access your mastery, which comes from various lifetimes. They bring it forward. So it decodes what's already in there. Like, let's say in another life. Stay, honey. Here. It decodes the mastery that's stored in your DNA from previous lives when you were very masterful. So sometimes, like an example would be, after it, you'd go sit down and play the piano when you hadn't had any lessons. Okay. So that's on the healing page and something you can check out. Okay, we're going to stop for a minute, and Master Hatpuda wants to say hi to everybody.
I'm sorry. Not my boobs. Not my boobs. Sorry. Ow, not my boobs. Thank you.
Here, I'll take her. Come sit on my lap, honey. There you are. So, you're a beautiful girl. Yeah, say hi to everybody. Love you. Just sit on her stool. Yeah. So she's a big part of our work. All right, one more thing. Ah, it's time to eat, huh? Of course. Yeah. So just a brief introduction now. Interesting to the timing of this class, because our 4th year of new people going into training in the energy medicine school starts October 10th. So if you've ever thought about accessing your healing abilities and combining them now with the whales and dolphins, you might be interested in doing the course. The whales told me that it would only take 6 years for this energy to go all over the world. And for people to become common knowledge that by accessing the whale energy, you change the fluid in your body. And now we know, of course, with Dr. Emoto's work, that it's been proven scientifically. It's one of the ways they can change you very quickly is they access the fluid that you're carrying. So this is an extensive site. I've said if you're interested, you can check it out. There's an overview here that you can click on to read about Module 1. Module 1 has been working with the humpback whales. First, the earth whales, and then the white whales. Certified practitioner training. So glad Claude is here. The second module is working with the dolphins, and that will start sometime in January. I always let the class pick the date, but module 1 starts on October 10th. So a lot of nice YouTubes you can listen to with more of the channeling I've done. One on dolphins and DNA. It's really good. Messages you can read. And clicking here, more information. It's a lot of detail. And again, it's a career opportunity now. Anyway, the whale said that it would go around the world in 6 years or less. So we're starting the 4th year, and we're in 13 countries last year. And Claude, of course, is one of the international people that graduated. So there it is. So that's our commercial, and it's very timely because of the class starting in October. You can check that out. Nice. So again, before we end here, any last questions or comments? Anybody? Well, I'm excited to have you for a month. We're going to do a lot of great stuff. And
Love you.
love you too. Love you too. So we're going to actually close with a prayer called the service prayer. because the whales, of course, want to bring us into our understanding that we are here in service. That's why we came. We're in first to yourself, and then to all of humanity, and of course to the animal kingdom. So we'll close the sacred space with this beautiful prayer.
This is our service prayer. I am in service to my Creator and the Creator of all that is. I pray to always serve the light of my Creator, God, Goddess, Source, with love, and to always do my part to the very best of my ability. I pray to always go and be exactly where I need to be to manifest the Creator's divine master plan of love. I acknowledge my service and the gift of my earth life back to the One. Please use my body and soul combined with my free will as your own to serve at the highest possible level as your representative. I give humble thanks for the ability to serve at this level. I am grateful for my life. I am a unique and integral part of the divine master plan of love. I am an example of divine love. I pray now for the highest good of all beings in all places and at all times. I honor my divinity by serving my Creator joyfully. Let us rejoice. And so it is. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks. Amen. Amen. Amen.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Wild Buddha here. See you next week, same time, same place.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
It's our lovey girl. Be well.
Thank you.
Love you, Buddha.